Good morning. We're in Colossians chapter 2 today. It's Thursday. And again, I'd encourage you, if you haven't read it, to hit pause and read the chapter. And Paul's focus seems to be, you look at verse 4. I say this in order that no one may delude you with arguments. And verses 6 through 8, therefore, as you receive Christ, the Lord, Jesus the Lord, walk in him, rooted and built up, established in the faith, just as you were taught, abounding with thanksgiving. See to it that no one takes you captive by philosophy and empty deceit. So this concept of being deceived, of following things of the world, it's the focus is to follow Christ and to be built up, rooted and built up, established in the faith, just as you were taught. And we see throughout this concept of being in Christ. In verse 9, for in him. Verse 11, in him. Verse 12, you've been buried with him. And it says it's all through faith. In verse 12, in this concept, you were dead, but you've been made alive. So Paul is reminding the Colossians what Christ has done. That if you're in Christ, we're once dead, you're now alive, and then comes back to warn them to not let people pass judgment as regard to food or drink or festivals or new moons, and let no one disqualify them. So this warning not to follow teachings of the world that are designed to be spiritual. If you are with Christ, verse 20 again, this concept of in Christ, do not submit to regulations. So this, according to human precepts and teaching. So again, throughout this chapter, this concept of following Christ and not following the ways of the world that are contrary to Christ. And even though these ways may have the appearance of wisdom, it says in verse 23, but they are of no value. Paul concludes this chapter with. So a good warning. It's so easy for us to follow the ways of the world, the wisdom of the world, and Paul is stressing that we must follow the ways of Christ and to walk in him and to be living our lives in Christ. So tomorrow we will hit chapter 3 of Colossians, and let me know what you're learning through this book, and I pray God blesses you as you get into his word.